Pregnancy isn't just a phase. It's like living in the body of a completely new woman, where every thought, every smell, every taste becomes louder, more vivid. That's when I changed. Not crazy, just different. I started writing strange things. Not recipes in the classic sense, but more like coded poetry. Fantasies, disguised as step-by-step instructions, add a pinch of the unexpected, stir with a midnight secret, serve hot but avoid getting burned. It was my quiet way to release what I couldn't speak aloud. The notebook was small, worn on the edges. I hid it deep in a drawer, beneath an old tablecloth. Just for me. Only me. Months passed, and my son grew inside me. Then came the birth, sleepless nights, endless crying, diapers, chaos. I almost forgot the notebook. Until one completely ordinary day. I was in the next room, ironing his school uniform, when I heard rustling from the kitchen. My little chef was cooking again. He often tried to surprise me, usually with toast drenched in strawberry syrup and sprinkled with salt. But this time, something felt different. When I walked into the kitchen, it was too neat. There was a bowl on the table, a perfectly stirred mixture. And next to it, the notebook. That notebook. Open. On that page. Mom, I did everything you wrote. Even the pinch of the unexpected. I found cinnamon and something else in a tiny jar. For a second, time froze. I felt the blood rush from my face. Not because I was scared, but because someone had touched something deeply personal. Something I myself had pushed away. And that's when things started getting interesting. Let me take a short pause. Tell me in the comments where you're listening from and if anything like this has ever happened to you, even just a little. I'm genuinely curious. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Now, let's continue. When I stepped into the kitchen, the scent in the air made something twist inside me. It wasn't just cinnamon or sugar. It was familiar. Too familiar. A mix of spices, a hint of perfume, and something else. A smell I once knew far too well. From nights I thought I had buried in the past. My son beamed at me. Mom, I followed everything in the notebook. Even that special powder I found in the jar on the top shelf. It smells, kind of magical. My eyes drifted toward the shelf. The jar. Small. Almost empty. The one I had sealed with tape long ago, to keep it shut, to lock away a memory. That wasn't a spice. It was a remnant. Of a time I promised myself I'd never return to. Of moments I had once shared with someone in confidence. My hands trembled slightly as I picked up the notebook. The pages stuck together ever so slightly, like someone had flipped through them recently, quickly, nervously. I turned to that page. But it was gone. Ripped out. The one page where I had written something deeply personal, a playful note, whispered once to him. My husband. It was something only he knew. Or, was he the only one? I checked my things. First out of habit. Then with growing suspicion. Then, his phone. Oddly, the browsing history was cleared. Some messages were gone. Photo folders? Trimmed. Too neat. Way too neat. And then, a detail. Small. Barely there. A torn slip of paper lying near the jar, as if someone had yanked it from the notebook and forgotten to hide it. On it, a few familiar words. Written in handwriting that wasn't mine. In that moment, I realized this wasn't just a child's experiment. Someone left a trace. Whether by accident or design, I didn't know yet. But I would find out. Because sometimes, the scent of someone else is just a little too familiar. It happened on the most ordinary evening. So ordinary, it almost felt scripted. We were having dinner. Just the three of us. Plates, napkins, soft chatter. Then, he said it. Interesting, he murmured, looking at his food. A pinch of the unexpected. Just like your secret sauce. I froze. That line. That exact line. From the page that was torn out. A phrase I once wrote half-jokingly, a secret with a hint of danger. He couldn't have remembered it. He wasn't supposed to. I never said it out loud. Never. I looked up. He was calm. Eating. Smiling. Later, I stood at the sink washing dishes. He stayed at the table. That's when I saw his reflection in the kitchen cabinet glass. He was texting. Smiling again. Leaning toward his phone like a teenager flirting with someone new. I didn't move. Not a flinch. Just kept washing plates, like nothing had changed. But inside, everything had. He didn't know I'd already figured it out. That his casual phrase had been the key. That our son, unknowingly, had pulled more than just a jar from that shelf, he'd pulled the truth into the light. That the recipe wasn't just words. It was a signal. For me. Later that night, I opened the notebook again. Turned the pages slowly. This time, I saw more than just whimsy. I saw signs. Clues. Symbols. Things that once were play, now revealed themselves as quiet warnings. I remembered what I felt while writing them. And who I was thinking of with every line. That's when I knew, he hadn't just read it. He'd used it. Repeated it. Shared it. Perhaps, not only with me. But I'm not telling this to make anyone feel sorry. No. This isn't a story of betrayal, not exactly. It's a story of how even innocent hands can uncover something long buried. How the scent of spices can point to truth. And how sometimes, destiny speaks through simple dinner words. So yes, it almost ended well. Almost. Let me know in the comments what you think about this story. Have you ever experienced something similar? Your thoughts truly matter to me. I read every message and genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like so you won't miss the next thrilling story. Wishing you a beautiful day, calm, but with a spark. And if you made it all the way to the end, write this in the comments, the scent never lies, that way, I'll know you stayed with me until the last word.